Hello everyone, Hermes Rex here, and I want to start off this channel by talking about the recent protests in UC Berkeley, once a symbol of resistance to authority with its protests in the 60s for issues such as civil rights, women's rights, and the war in Vietnam. But what about the present? Well, it's mainly been a political clash of ideals for those who support Donald Trump and for those who don't. Namely, the group that has emerged into the spotlight is the group known as Antifa, who proclaimed a stand against fascism. Recently, the country seems to have exploded in protest against Donald Trump, more so than any other leader in history. Never before has there been such a more hated president than this guy, and those who are in support of Trump seem to be hated even more for following him. In early February, a speech by Milo Yiannopoulos had to be canceled amid violent protests by people who were gathered at Sprout Hall. Milo, who has been known to be an outspoken supporter of Trump, was escorted out of Berkeley, and even the president tweeted about it, threatening to pull money from UC Berkeley. Then in the March for Trump, violence erupted in Berkeley once again as pro-Trump supporters confronted counter-protesters. Both sides claim that the other side were the ones that instigated violence, yet there's a clip here that claims
there's almost a script to how these rallies and counter-protests go here in the city of Berkeley. We asked the folks taking part in today's rally at Civic Park if they were intentionally trying to provoke a reaction by bringing a pro-Trump message and gathering to the heart of liberal Berkeley. Coming here to Berkeley, isn't that poking the bear to come here to Berkeley to say he?
Well, it is in a way, but we're not doing it to be gleeful about it or to deliberately upset people who are against us. But we have every right to be here.
But you are going to upset people by your presence.
But that's their problem. That it's if they have a problem, they seem to be upset about a lot of things that are completely irrational. So that, it's not. We're not. We don't have an answer for that. We're not. If they want to hold a rally in where I'm from, they're welcome to do it, but we're not. And we might have people come out there and do a counter demonstration, but we're not going to stop them from exercising their freedom of speech.
Now, Berkeley PD seemingly took a hands-off approach after separating the two groups early on with orange fencing. We'll have much more here from Civic Park tonight on KPIX 5 News at 11 o'clock. Live in Berkeley, I'm Andrea Borba, KPIX 5.
Thanks, Andrea. We saw the same kind of violence last month. Pro-Trump and anti-Trump protesters got into it at the very same park in Berkeley. Faces bloodied, bodies bruised. In all, 10 people were arrested last month. Officers at that protest confiscated a variety of weapons, including metal pipes, bats, and a bag of bricks. And this time around, police put out a list of banned items in advance. That didn't stop people from bringing them anyway. Here's a look at just some of what police confiscated in the park today. You can see plenty of sticks, poles, and flags. There's also a large folding knife.
Well, did Trump supporters set up a protest just to agitate anti-Trumpers into violence? There's no simple or good answer for that. But I will refer to a video by Joey Salads, where he is undercover in Berkeley during this recent protest in April.
After I was done going undercover, I went behind the Trump side to see what was going on over there. And there was a lot of people dressed kind of militant. And I talked to them and I was asking them, why you guys here as a group? You got, body armor on, you got like some weapons on you. Why are you here? They're like, and what they said to me is what they do is they have a perimeter. They have an inner perimeter where they want to keep people safe in case stuff gets too crazy. So what the Trump side did was they just created an inner perimeter with medic to take care of people in case they get pepper sprayed, in case they get hit with a rock. And this way they create, a protection circle, which is pretty smart. But as you can see with just that right there is the Trump supporters are coming to their own rally with the intention of Antifa attacking them. So they just want to keep themselves safe and, give medic attention to people who need the assistance.
So according to these sources, Trump supporters knowingly staged these protests to attract anti-Trump sentiment and to incite violence. When in that same video, Joey says that Antifa members were the ones agitating violence.
As soon as we got there and I went undercover, immediately fights broke out. And as you can see, there's a clear contrast between the Trump side and the Antifa side. There's a clip of a guy right here when a fight breaks out from Antifa calling for all his Antifa people to come in and join in the violence. And then here's another clip of this Trump supporter just having words with an Antifa member, and you can see the Antifa member clearly attack him.
Bring out the street! Bring out the street! Put him down!
It wasn't long till they started throwing stuff. And I found this clip when I was going through everything of this guy. He took a shoe and threw it down in front of another Antifa member. And then you can see in the other camera angle, the shoe go flying through the air. But it gets a lot worse than that. This one girl, she had a fire extinguisher.
Yo, who you gonna blast with that? You blasting someone with it?
Yeah, I got right in the face. It's all fucked up. Well, I can still hit them.
It did not take long for Antifa to start burning American flags. They burnt about 2 American flags and 1 flag that seemed to be a Blue Lives Matter flag.
We should fucking light it and throw it at them, dude. I know, right?
As we were walking into the crowd, one of the Antifa people came out and started yelling at my cameraman James for recording. So I had to step in before things escalated, and I kicked him out because I was undercover and they thought I was on their side. I think that the Antifa members don't like people with cameras behind their side. It's because they break a lot of crimes. That's why they wear masks. They put the masks on because this way when the footage goes out, they can't get in trouble for it. But I don't know why this girl wasn't wearing a mask for whatever reason, even though she was so concerned about being recorded. So cops, if you're watching this and you see any identities of people who were breaking laws, I hope you can use it to your advantage. There was a Trump supporter who was walking by, and Antifa totally jumped him and attacked him. They were beating his head with a pole, and I immediately broke my cover and rushed in there to break things up.
Yeah, I gotta stick ready. These people are coming ready to fight. Stones. No. Hey! No, hey! Back up. Let him out.
Now, right after this happened, that's when the rock throwing started. The people on the Antifa side started getting big rocks and throwing them over at Trump supporters. And as that was happening, I noticed this one thing in the footage. Trump supporters were not really throwing them back. As you can see in this clip right here, you can see a rock was thrown by Antifa, and one of the Trump supporters just took the rock and threw it back on his side on the floor, so this way it wouldn't keep getting thrown back and forth. Many of these rocks hit people in the head, and they started gushing blood. A lot of people got injured from this. There was this one couple that was behind the Antifa side. They looked like they were filming. They were an older couple, and the main demographic of these Antifa people were young, like around college age. So when I saw these two, this older couple there, I thought that they were just idiots there recording, you know, what's going on, and that's what it looked like. So I went over to them and I was like, hey guys, get out of here, you know, fights are breaking out, rocks are fighting, you know, like just be safe. So they got up and they left. But when I was reviewing the footage, it turns out that they were Antifa, and there was this lady, she had to be over 50 years old. I got footage of her picking up rocks. She was on the Antifa side, so I don't know if she threw anything, but she definitely had the intention of throwing rocks at Trump supporters.
And the name that rose to viral video fame and all this? The so-called Antifa girl, or Moldy Locks, as some call her due to her dreadlocks. She was caught on numerous cameras being punched out by this guy, Nathan D'Amigo, who leads the group Identity Europa, who say in their mission statement on their website, "We are a generation of awakened Europeans who have discovered that we are a part of the great peoples, history, and civilization that flowed from the European continent. We reject the idea that our identities are mere abstractions to be deconstructed. We oppose those who would defame our history and rich cultural heritage. In a time when every other people are asserting their identity without action, we will have no choice to resist our dispossession." In an ever-changing world where it's considered very unpopular to be seen as racist, groups like Identity Europa and other extremist groups will say that they are not so much anti-minorities, but they are promoting pro-white values and revel in their ancestry. It's basically the same thing David Duke said of the new and improved KKK back in the 70s and 80s. Racism and intolerance is driving a deeper wedge into our world, that much is clear. Everyone wants to be heard, but not everyone wants to listen to all that's being said. And UC Berkeley is proving to be a major battleground in the days to come, with some people already calling this recent incident the Battle of Berkeley. I have a feeling I will probably have to do a follow-up on this one, since the year is still young. And if you have anything to add, or if you want to comment, feel free to do so in the comments section below. And follow me on Twitter at WeAreHermesRex to get the latest feed on new videos I'll be posting. So see you next time, and remember, truth is only a matter of perspective.